questions go on.
I thought so.
Mr. Courtney, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, and thank you to all the witnesses. I've been really kind of in and out here today, and we appreciate your patience and endurance here today. One area which of American education that I believe is not in crisis is, in fact, it's about as highly valued as anything particularly in the moment we're in terms of our economy, is career and technical education funding. The omnibus that we just passed actually boosted the CT&E account by $100 million above last year. I come from a district, and the governor remembers, because we used to sit next to each other in this committee a number of years ago, and my friend from Connecticut knows this. We have a shipyard that builds submarines, and the demand signal is off the chart in terms of the Columbia-class program and the Virginia-class program. The yard, the good news is, has gone from about 7,000 to about 13,000 workers. They've got to get up probably another 5,000. There's 1,600 job openings, mostly in the metal trades, welding, electrician, sheet metal, you name it. The career and technical education programs that are there are completely packed with waiting lists. Secretary Cardona from Connecticut, who was a graduate of a tech school, came up and visited, and again, is a passionate believer that we've got to sort of move this curriculum out to comprehensive high schools, and that's actually what some of that new money that was in the omnibus is going to be aimed at, is in terms of trying to sort of push that out. But there is a problem, and the president talked about this last night, which is, so if you have a master welder teaching kids, how to even just do almost intro welding, the good news is that when these kids graduate, even at high school age, they're probably starting at about $50,000 a year, and in no time, they're actually going to be making more money than the master welder who's teaching in the program there. So trying to find a way to get the right skill set in the welding booths to teach, what is a critical occupation right now for the country in terms of these programs is going to require having to come up with a way to pay for, the quality that you need. So I don't know if you're running into this, Jared, or Governor Polis in Colorado, but in the CT&E area there, almost all of them are teaching skills that you could go out right now in this economy and make far more than you could as a teacher.
Yeah, I agree with the focus on increased resources and investment in career and technical. There's also opportunities, as you discuss WIOA, for allowable use of funds while students are still in school, as well as looking at additional partnerships with the private sector, like we have through CareerWise, where students are able to be placed for earn while you learn models while they're working. So in effect, a kind of apprenticeship model that can complement the traditional career and technical education model.
Again, Mr. Sullivan, I know this is sort of in your space. I don't know if you had any comment, again, about trying to get the people in the classrooms.
Thank you for the question. Thank you for the focus on CTE. In particular, I mentioned earlier, one of the more difficult parts of creating the capacity is identifying that faculty member. So one of the things that we've done is work with our industry partners. As someone begins to look at retirement 6 months, 9 months prior to retirement from one of our business partners, being able to slide that individual over into the classroom and allowing them to teach and to be able to give back has been a really successful strategy for us. And for that group, they're not as concerned about the pay. They are concerned about giving back. And so that has been a great strategy, but what I know for certain is we do not have enough retirees to be able to meet that capacity issue.
And I was just going to chime in with that point, because they're tapping into that same pool, and a lot of them are just super passionate about mentoring and, really, teaching people that manufacturing is not a dirty, sort of dismal job. But the fact of the matter is that's a really unreliable pool. I mean, we have to figure out a way, again, to get the people who have the talent and who know. I mean, welding. An admiral who was down there once described a nuclear welder is about as skilled as a brain surgeon. I mean, there's no margin for error when you're building a vessel that does not, support human life. And so, again, I think it's just something we have to think about in terms of this question about, 11 million job openings in the economy, highly concentrated in manufacturing, and how do we get people connected with the right teachers to make sure that they can help the country and succeed for themselves. I yield back.
Thank you, Mr.